Alright, Volume 3, Part 2, Chapter 1000, Deposit for Credit, Treasury, General Account. Chapter establishes procedures for following depository located in the 50 United States District of Columbia when making the deposit for the credit of the Treasury General Account. Section 1010, scope back of the chapter apply for the Treasury General Account depository located within the 50 United States District of Columbia and other whom specifically intended authority, the procedure that authorized in Code for Regulation Title 31 CFR 202, 1020, terms and definitions related to the chapter of Treasury Financial Manual Glossary, 1025, background, use of domestic depositories, Treasury guidance, Treasury General Account maintained with the authorized depository accelerated with the collection ability of the funds to Treasury governmental offices who wish to deposit the receipts with the domestic deposit making necessary arrangements of the bank operation branch. Depositors may only accept the deposit of the government agencies for the credit of the Treasury General Account with a specialized authorized due side with the banking operations branch. In the event that the depository is required to accept the deposit of the unauthorized government agent, the depository will notify the banking operations branch, will advise the agency with refer to Volume 1, Treasury Financial Manual, Part 4, Part 5, 4000, proper disposition of the deposit. 1025-20, general description of CashLink. CashLink is a cash concentration system designated with the concentrate funds account detail for the deposits made with the federal agency federal general account. Maintain a design depository system consolidates agents' accounting records at the depository level to perform data entry with the financial agent. Transfers from the Federal Reserve Bank through the electronic funds. The transfer technology funds are transferred to the depository directly to the Treasury account with the Federal Reserve Bank via the automatic clearinghouse system and wire transfers. Financial agent collection and accounting information depository schedule based prepares information to initiate fund transfers, provide accounting detail, official serve the accounting detail of the deposit report. Banks reconcile official serve of those reported federal agencies. The compensation for the services provided by the domestic depository operating Treasury General Account will form the automatic clearinghouse to the depository specified amount on the form imputed value with a non-interest bearing Treasury time balance placed at the depository and or imputed value of the collected overnight balances maintained in the Treasury General Account with the compensation with the discretion of official services. How to become a depository official initial interest in obtaining Treasury General Account deposits may market its services to the federal agency in the area of the Treasury itself as depository made based upon the request of the federal agency of the valuation efficiency is offered such for the relationship to be designated as a depository. The financial institution must meet the eligibility requirement Title 31 CFR 202, be able to accept automatic clearinghouse debts, agree with the memorandum of understanding with official services, specifically authorized Treasury accepted deposits. 1030, operational requirement. Deposit proves requirements. Deposit will approve each deposit the received balance dial with their amount period face of the standard form 215, sum with accompanying remnants items. The depository will correct out of balance or currencies called by the federal agency preparing deposit by either preparing an additional standard form 215 or 5515 to the balance for the sum accompanying the remittance. So the depositor will not adjust the amount of the change accounting on the face of the standard form 215 submitted with the federal agency. See supplement number 2, volume 5, Treasury Financial Manual CashLink User Guide, specifically detailed processing adjustments. 1030-20, credit over the crediting of the deposit. Each deposit over the depository of the government agency, the credit of the Treasury will be credited with the Treasury General Account on the date of which the receipt is received prior to the cutoff time. 1030-30, depository reporting requirements. Depositories will report deposit information according to the instruction provided in Supplement 2, Volume 5, Treasury Financial Manual with CashLink User Guideline. Deposit reported with either a personal computer with a modern interface by touchtone telephone response to the financial agent. Treasury may determine the method of reporting depository. Backup processing requirement 1030-40. In some instances, the financial agent may be incapable of accepting deposits due to power failure for the other foreign difficulties. Under these circumstances, depository will transfer accounting information according to Supplement number 1, Volume 5, Treasury Financial Manual, CashLink Operating Instruction, Domestic Treasury General Account, Depository Bank, Section 11, Exemption Processing Depository Accept the requirement will be specifically designated formally divided with the Treasury Liability, Section 1055. apply depository section 103050 fund transfers. Treasury general account depositories are required to transfer a full amount with the deposit loss less debts of the Treasury general account to the Treasury on the business day following with the federal agency deposit. Depositories will, failing to so, transfer liability imputed value of the funds according to section 1055. Depository will remind the Treasury general account daily basis for the correction of the funds transfer. Depository compensated imputed value uncollected funds transferred with the Treasury described in subsection 1055.10. Funds will be transferred to the depository treasury via the automatic clearinghouse debts and wire transfers. Automatic clearinghouse debts. The depository will complete with the depository report prior to 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the day of the deposit. Financial will pay with the automatic clearinghouse format at request of the debit of the depository accounts of the corresponding with accounts. Credit Treasury accounts on the Richmond Federal Reserve Bank. Depository accounts will be debited with the Treasury account credit on the next business day of the Richmond Federal Reserve Bank. All depositories except those specifically exempted will report with the cash link system prior to the automatic clearinghouse cutoff of the day of the federal agency deposit. Any deposit that can show legitimate need to authorize report for after the automatic clearinghouse cutoff will request and receive a written late call authorization of the BOB. Request will include the appropriate justification, documentation, evaluation completed within effect with the BOB will notify the depositor in writing notification of their request of late call-in authorization. In all cases, the depository report financial agent must occur no later than 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the business day following the day of the deposit. All depositories have granted the written late call authorization will wire transfer Treasury General accounting funds to the New York Federal Reserve Bank immediately upon receipt of the 1031 wire request. The fund transfer message reference acceptable number cash given in cash link system. Wire transfers for the depositor for the complete with their deposit the reports at 8 p.m. on Eastern Standard automatic clearinghouse cutoff before the wire time cutoff time. Financial agent will collect the information necessary prior to 1031 wire request cutoff, completing depository report for which funds transferred prior of the 1 p.m. Eastern Time business day following the day of the deposit. Improved Treasury cash management position and operable feasible depository will make the depository report financial agent 9:30 Eastern Time on the business day. Following the day of deposit, financial agent will send 1031 right the request of correcting deposit transfer fund right wire to New York Federal Reserve Bank depository with the active 1031 wire request by preparing, sending, or responding wire transfer no later than 1 hour after receipt. Requested funds, all wire transfers will be formatted specifically specified with the Federal Reserve Bank. Receive the Treasury account within the New York Bank, Federal Reserve Bank by 2 p.m. Eastern Time on the business day following the day of the deposit. Alright, multiple accounts per cash link account key. Although the depository may utilize more than one account, facilitate the process of realization, Treasury General account deposit, single cash link auto account key, cash link depository report, consolidation deposit result when the Treasury debiting only one account depository receives Treasury debit more than one account will request authorization from the BOB. BOB will notify the depositor in writing of the disposition of the request. Return automatic clearinghouse debts. If the Treasury receives the dishonored automatic clearinghouse debit request, the BOB will contact the depository to determine the reason for the request was dishonored and instruct the depository wire transfer funds Treasury account with the New York Federal Reserve Bank. Treasury reserves a right to charge the depository cut-off wire transfer when automatic clearinghouse debt has been refused. Alright, 103060, deferred account requirements. Deferred account accounts, and specifically in this case, if the Treasury sold with discretion, Treasury will give the written authorization about the deferred transfer uncollected funds. Supplement number 1, volume 5, Treasury Financial Manuals, Cash Link Operation Instruction, Domestic Treasury General Account Depository Banks. And supplement number 2, Cash Link User Guide and specified procedure following when processing deferred account. Description automated deferred accounting process. Each deferred depositor will record the deposit report or deferred information reporting to the cash link via the deposit reporting system screen. Each deferred report will process the edit routine to ensure the report accurate, but the cash link system will track any funds not transferred. 1037, the return and requirement of the depositor made debit the current date with the deposit amount with checks. Dishonored return unpaid procedure supplement number 1, volume 5, Treasury Financial Manual, Cash and Link Operation Instruction, Domestic Treasury General Account Depository Banks. Provide the detailed processing such adjustment. 1035 compensation. Eligibility for the compensation during negotiation for the Treasury of the financial institution regarding the established Treasury general account of the subject of the compensation will be addressed. The financial institution part of the compensation will formally advise the Treasury during the negotiation. Alterations, amount, compensation, sequential, subsequent to the established Treasury general account will be based on the result of the analysis information provided in accordance with subsection 1035.50. 1035.20 product category standard item rates. BLB will provide with the scheduled income recognized expense categories for each category. Per category item rate will be provided made on part of the memorandum of understanding between the Treasury and the depository in accordance with supplement number 1, volume 5, Treasury Financial Manual. Such categories per category rates remain in effect and supersede the Treasury will result in the rates periodically. Sources of income. Depository at 1035.30. The depository may compensate with the services provided with the Treasury and the automatic clearinghouse credits with the imputed with the TTB imputed value that is collected overnight balances maintained with the Treasury general account. Immediate available funds method of compensation, the sole discretion in the Treasury. Automated clearinghouse credit. Treasury may compensate with the depository immediately the automatic credit clearinghouse credit with a recognized service provided with the amount of the credit determine the volume of the recognized expense based on the applicable per category rate. Item rates less imputed value than imputed available funds. Delayed transfer of funds to Treasury will compensate with the depository monthly basis. Imputed value of the Treasury time balance. Treasury may compensate for the depositor and maintain the balance for the deposit of the U.S. Treasury time deposit open account on the depositor amount with the paid and made in maintaining the time account determining the Treasury with the projected volumes of the recognized expense were based on the applicable per category item rates, less projected imputed value of the immediately available funds, or the delayed transfer fund of the balance will be adjusted or removed at the sole discretion of the Treasury at that time. The TTB will be subject to withdrawal of the Treasury when feasible. When the government is best interest of the Treasury will provide the depositor a written notice intent withdrawal of the TTB will not ordinarily withdraw TTB until the expiration of 14 days after the day of the written notice. However, nothing will preclude the Treasury from withdrawing TTB without notice for the depository. Treasuries will not be liable for any costs realized with the depository event with TTB withdrawal. As provided in subsection 1035.60, depository will pledge collateral security for entire TTB in advance for any of the TTB placed on the depository. Imputed value collected overnight balances, immediate available funds maintained with the Treasury general account, partial complete compensation service provided with the depository and operating Treasury general account. Treasury will calculate the imputed value and immediate available funds of the Treasury general account. 1035.40 analysis earning rates imputed with the value of the Treasury time balance, Treasury general accounts accounted collected with the AER within 3 months of the Treasury bill. The account average instrument auction average investment rate. Such computation occur with a monthly basis using the following calculations. Treasury time base, AER factors, Treasury general account average daily collected balance, Treasury general account average daily uncollected balance, average daily imputed available funds, average daily uncollected funds, step 1, step 2, step 3. Alright, 1035.50 income expense reporting. Depository will report recognized income expense for the monthly base for the Treasury in order to receive compensation under the user procedures, Treasury Financial Manual, supplements, bulletins, any amendments to any of the foregoing. 1035.60 collateral requirement. Depository will pledge collateral security in Title 31 Code Federal Regulations Part 202 to describe the public funds. Maintain the depository include immediate available funds except for the recognized insurance coverage determined by the Treasury. In addition, the depository will pledge collateral security in the amount of any Treasury time balance placed depository in advance such placement. Excess earning deficiency earnings. Excess earnings occur with the depository income. Earnings are defined with the supplement bulletin thereto with the amendments to any foregoing greater that is recognized expense of defense earnings occur when daily deposit income earnings are less than recognized expense. Depository will liable with the Treasury. All excessive earnings will return Treasury when requested. Treasury will determine sole discretion method the depository will make. Treasury hold Treasury methods include, but not limited to, direct payment of the Treasury General Account in the New York Federal Reserve Bank, offset past, future, cumulative losses form, deficient earnings, and imputed value funds. Similar Treasuries will be liable to the depository. Direct earnings will not be sole discretion determined method to which will the depository hold. Treasury methods include, but not limited to, adjusting the Treasury time-based balance, automated clearinghouse credits, offset past, future, cumulative gains, and further excess earnings and imputed values of funds delayed. Or Section 1040 Forms 1040-10 stand form 215 deposit ticket deposits made with the depository credit with the Treasury General Account will be submitted prescribed in the stand form 215. Preparation stand form 215 prepared with the depositor who will enter for the date with the deposit present with the depository instruction complete with the 215 printed with the reverse side of the form date with the credit. Confirmed date with the depositor has entered with the 215. The date with the depositor provided financial agent receive the Treasury General Depository shall also be the same. Depositor is made also required with the stand form 215 comply with the deposit proof requirements. Acknowledgement of the receipt. The deposit will be dated and signed with the original copy of the 215 certifying with the deposit receipt of the credit of the Treasury General Account. The signature will be in the following forms: one handwritten signature authorized by officer or employee filed with the title of the officer or employee filed with the title of the officer or employee. Rubber stamp impression showing the name of the depository subject with the handwritten initials of the receipt of the authorized officer or employee filed with the title. Or 3 facsimile rubber stamp impression signature authorized officer employee placed on the officer over the officer employee's official title supported by the handwritten initials officer employee all initial signatures in ink. Alright, disposition original copy. The depositor will retain original copy of the stand form 215. Copy of 215 will be distributed according with the instruction printed on each copy. Distribution will not forward any copy of the 215 to the Federal Reserve Bank and Treasury. The copy of the 215 deposit will furnish for the proceed with the 215 upon request of government agency or Treasury even after the Treasury General Account is closed. But the copy is provided with the depositor will plain stamp copy across the face of the 251. 1040-20 stand form 5515 debt voucher and counterfeit currency procedure. Depositor preparing stand 5515 reduced to the Treasury General Account as a result of the correction of the deposit of subsection 1030-10 or to be filed with the return check. The depositor will handle the check with it not paid with any of the reasoned balance by the bank of withdrawn with according with the prescribed Treasury Financial Manual supplement bullets thereto and amendments to any of the foregoing. Preparation of the stand form 5515 with the when paid with the return of the depository or one of the checks lost over the prior to the microfilming of the forward. Collecting depository shall immediately prepare with the executed stand form 5515 to charge the amount of the unpaid to the Treasury General Account, subsection 1030-70. Depository will not add and charge the depository agency with the Treasury any service charges, return check charges, any non-sufficient charges, any other non-recognized charges combined with the stand 5515 otherwise endorsed with the reverse check, but the deposit include the depository agency location on top 1.5 inches of the check. The depositor will prepare the stand form 5515 with the information furnished on uncollectible checks without reporting related to stand form 215 depositor agency location address on the related. If the check has been lawful, the depositor will refer to the related stand 215 with the same information and finding 215 may be the time consuming the depository permitted with a reliable list of regular depositing agents showing with respect to the agency location address. Depositories will retain record of the draw bank amount of the each of the unpaid check with the original stand form 5515 shall support with a recharge of the Treasury General Account should pertain with the depository on unpaid check with the delivered forward with the depository with the depository depositing agency together with a memorandum to confirm copies of the stand form 5515 unpaid check with not covered the depository notification depository depositing agency citing the reason for the check will or not be returned to company with the stand form 5515. Charging return to items to the Treasury General Account. Treasury General Account will be charged with the total amount with the unpaid item recorded with the stand form 5515. No service charge, return check charge, no sufficient fund charges, any of the other recognized change of the expense will be added within charge of the depositing agency stand form 5515. At the close of the business same day, the depository will distribute all copies of the stand 5515 according to instruments printed on each copy. Handling excess return item depository standard 5515 cannot fully upset the deposit of the Treasury General account without causing an overdraft of the account. The depositor will not charge the total amount of standard form 5515 with the Treasury General account depository books. Unless procedures stated in subsection 104030 file, the depository will contact the BOB for the authorization to send 5515 directly with the local Federal Reserve Bank. Instructions shall have the Treasury General account at that Federal Reserve Bank and credit the deposit reserve account depository correspond with the total amount of the standard form 55 of the 15. BOB authorized to approve the procedure of the Treasury will not notify the Federal Reserve Bank to set process of the transaction, submit the depository as an exemption item. Charge return items after the Treasury General account has been closed. The depositor will receive the return Treasury General item official close with the Treasury. The depositor will contact BOB written authorization. Send 5515 directly to the local Federal Reserve Bank. 5515 will be accompanied with the instruction charge in Treasury General account at the Federal Reserve Bank. Cover the depository reserve account depository correspond with the total amount of standard form 5515. After the depository has received the BOB and written authorization, the depositor will prepare the standard 5015. Instructed above, the original 1515 will forward with the Federal Reserve Bank notification Treasury has approved. Transaction returned item will forward with the deposit agency together with the memorandum copies of standard form 5515. The BOB authorizes above the transaction writing. Treasury will notify the Federal Reserve Bank to accept the process of the available the substitute of the deposit and exemption item. If the Treasury does not authorize above the provided written writing, no charge of the Treasury General account at the Federal Reserve will be permitted. Counterfeit currency, a debit voucher of 5515 will be processed in the amount of the suspected counterfeit currency to the Treasury General account. Depositor will surrender the suspected counterfeit currency for the Secret Service on debit the voucher for the depositor reference to stand form 215. Give the depositor surrendering currency for the Treasury General account. The depositor will provide depository photocopy Secret Service form 1604, counterfeit not to report company with the surrendering currency of the Secret Service Act 2000, stand form 215, establishing the reversal action will proceed. The amounted surrender currency Secret Service subsequently determines non-counterfeit. Or 104030, special arrangement and depository agency. Upon written approval of the deposit, any depositor may refer to the Treasury General account return items having uncollectible automatic process collection return the deposit agency presented again and replace the new checks and end of this arrangement. Standard form 5515 will not be prepared to charge the account unless the check are not collected or replaced within an agreed period of time. The depositor will not use such agreement prior to obtaining written approval of the depository agent. If such written approval is granted, it is limited to the deposit approving the agency only. Form requisition, see context page ordering instruction 1044-5, document retention. Document retention. Treasury General account depository will retain an original copy of each of the following documents 6 years of the 6 months from the date of the original completed document. Regardless of whether the Treasury General account subsequently closed at the end of the 6 years and 6 months of the retention period, the depository may destroy the document. The documents will remain either in the paper, the microfilm, microfiche form. Depositor will not add in charge either Treasury any deposit agency for any surplus charges, copy of the charge, researching charges, any other charge of requesting photocopies and information regarding the retaining documents either with the Treasury General account is closed. Depository will return the following documents as above the period of time. Standard form 215, 215A, 215B, and form 5515, Treasurer's number, cash link, deposit reports, statement of account activity. Treasury General account depositor will cannot and produce copies of the above documents upon request of the Treasury or depositing agency in 30 days liable by any of the own government calculated Treasury. 1050, resolving the differences. Receiving the depositor provided the account of the detailed movement of the Treasury of the telecommunication item to trinket file of the flow of all paper documents of the system. Depositor retain original copy source document. When there is a difference between the agency depositor reporting deposits, the agency will contact the depository. Depository will cooperate with the agency to resolve the difference reporting deposits for credit with the Treasury General account at the earliest practical date. Failure to cooperate, resolving the difference may result in termination of Treasury General account. Alright, 1055 value of funds. Party holding the Treasury general account along with the permitted responsible values of the fund. The depository holds the funds that were required with the transfer of the Treasury. The depository liable to the Treasury for the imputed value of the fund or erroneous. Conversely, with the depository transfer fund except for the proper amount, Treasury liable to the depository imputed value of the funds erroneously transferred. The liability to automatically apply without regard to the fault. Treasury will, in sole discretion, determine the appropriate manner in which the adjust the party who lost value under those circumstances value of the generally computed as stated in the section. Treasury may collect imputed value within delayed funds methods, including but not limited to increase the depository income, periodic income to expend with the analyst imputed value with the amount delayed, or by direct billing the depository of such value and liquidation of the collateral pledge of the deposit by the depository. Direct billing may take form of the automatic clearinghouse debt against the depository by accepting deposits for the government agency of the depository is deemed to authorize Treasury to collect the imputed value of the delayed funds. The Treasury and the Federal Reserve Bank keep the reserve account depository with the corresponding imputed value of the funds delayed with the computed average daily federal funds rates period from period in which funds were delayed. Alright, 1055-10, uncollected fund Treasury transferred Treasury. Treasury will reimburse the eligible depositor of the imputed value of the uncollected fund transferred Treasury based upon periodic review deposit activity analysis Treasury general account income, any supplemental bulletins thereto for the omissions and the foregone and recognized expend with the imputed value of the uncollected funds imputed provided in the Treasury Financial Banking Supplement bulletins amendments any of the foregoing. 1055-20, depository transfer delay. The depository does not comply with the reporting requirements of the delay of the transfer fund of the depository trip. For any reason, the depository will liable to the imputed value of the fund delay. Imputed value of such funds is calculated using federal funds rate. Section 1060, processing Treasury checks. Depository will clear checks received with the deposit federal agency via the normal banking arrangements. Depository will not reduce the amount of the non-transfer Federal Reserve Bank amount Treasury checks received. Treasury general account deposits contact Supply Property Management Branch Division Financial Management Bureau Official Services Department Treasury Bureau Official Services Over the Counter Division. That was Chapter 1000, Part 2, Volume 3.